Hello.
So here you are. How are you, Faisal?
Fine, fine, thank you. How are you?
Doing very well. Finally, we're able to get you on. How's your day?
Yeah. My day's been good.
Good.
Just completed two projects today.
Brilliant.
Um, yeah, if you like, I can go into them right now, or you want
Sure,
to
yeah. I
go.
mean, why don't you start with telling us who you are, what do you do? Give us a little bit of a
Sure.
brief of yourself.
Okay, yes. Um, I am Faisal Juma, the president of the Rotary Club of Salmania. My term started actually 3 weeks ago, July. So the way it works in Rotary, the term starts from July and it ends in June. Um, now I can, well, I have a business background and I work mainly for the family business. And the Rotary Club is a volunteer service organization, which is the purpose is to help and improve our society, of our community of Bahrain. Um, so I've been with the Rotary Club of Salmania for 5 years. I joined December 2014, and I've been on various roles on the board of directors and various roles on the board and given different committees and different positions. So finally, and a lot of work I put into it. And I became president this year.
Congrats on
Uh,
that. Mashallah, mabruk. Um,
Thank you.
we've all heard a lot about Rotary Club over the years. I think anybody that knows about the Rotary or the Rotaract Club will have heard that a lot of it is about public speaking. A lot of it is about community. Could you tell us a little bit about what Rotary Club is around the world, and
Yes.
what's the story behind it?
Yes. Um, it's the main sort of organization, sort of this umbrella organization that sort of supports all the Rotary clubs in the world is called Rotary International,
Okay.
and it's sort of it's the main sort of support system. And Rotary International was established in actually 1905 in Chicago by Paul Harris. And I think this year would be the 160th year anniversary of the Rotary International. And basically, the Rotary has there's something that is called the four-way test. So is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? I think I got cut off there. Did you hear what I said about the four-way test?
I heard that. I'm not sure if,
I
yeah,
think
I heard that.
I think I'm getting cut off.
You are, yeah, you're getting cut up a little bit.
No? You heard that. Okay. I'll continue then. Okay. I'll continue then. So there's a four-way test, which is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And we always keep this in mind when we approach any project um, concerning the community. Now, we have something called the values of Rotary, which is service, fellowship, diversity, integrity, and leadership. And all of this goes under the motto of service above self.
Mm.
We see ourselves as a service organization more than a charity organization. The point is that we serve our community. And many of us are from a business background, a professional background, from doctors and different types of professions. And the community has supported us so much, and we love our community. We want to give something back. We want to support our community. Um, Yeah, so that's basically and there's the 5 avenues of service, which is vocational, international, club services, community service, and I think there's one more which I can't remember off the top of my head. But these are the four avenues that we go to serve our community in different ways.
Mm.
And there are also the 7 areas of focus in the Rotary. Now, the 7 areas of focus is there's environmental, there's mother and child, there's health, there's water and sanitation, there's peace, there's literacy, and there's again one more which again it's gone off the top of my head. I had it there earlier. So there's 7 areas of focus, which is important that we use as a guideline to plan our projects for the rest of the year.
Okay, brilliant. So that's what you guys do in Bahrain, but I've also noticed that there's a few Rotaries in Bahrain itself. So you have Rotary Salmania, and then you have Rotary Manama, I believe, and then you have Rotary
Yes.
Bahrain. Are you guys all different chapters, or do you work under the same organization?
Okay, it's not chapters, it's clubs. And the first one is the Rotary Club of Manama, which was established in 1965. And it's just that when a Rotary Club reaches a certain size, it's just that it becomes unwieldy and we cannot focus on the work. So what tends to happen is that it breaks off into another club. So the Rotary Club of Salmania was established in 1971, 50 years ago. This year is our 50th year anniversary. So 50 years ago, Rotary Club Salmania, that's a different club. The other one is Rotary Club of Adliya, which was, I think, established 1992. And then the recent one is Rotary Club Sif Bahrain, which is focused on Arabic-speaking Bahrainis. And it's I think the first Rotary Club in Bahrain, which is Arabic only speaking. The Rotary Club of Salmania was established in 1971, and the first president took off. I mean, it was established in 28th of April, and the first president was His Highness Sheikh Isa bin Abdullah Al Khalifa, who took the presidency in June 1971. I believe the first meeting was in, I think it was Moon Plaza, or was it Dilmun Hotel? It's one of those two, in Al Hassan. But then eventually it got moved to the Golden Tulip, and then now it was Hilton, and then now it's Golden Tulip. And then there's a Rotaract Club, which is for the sort of younger generation from 18 to 35, but now it's more flexible. It's more of a casual type club. Yes.
Interesting. No, that's super interesting to hear that there's so much going on within the Rotary community, and all of you who are part of this are doing so much to give back to the community over the last few years. What I want to know now, and I think the audience might also want to know, is who are you, Faisal? What's your story from a business perspective, from a personal perspective, aside from Rotary?
Well, I don't think my personal life is that interesting, but anyway, I work for the family business. I mean, my father established the business over 40 years ago, I think.
What's the business?
The business is in electrical panel manufacturing. And our family has always been businessmen and merchants for many generations in pearls and So and I should mention my uncle Abdullah Jum'a was one of the founder members of the Rotary Club of Salmania over 50 years ago.
Wow, so it runs in the family.
It runs in the family, and I think one of your questions you sent me on WhatsApp was that why did I choose Rotary Club of Salmania? And it was because my uncle is one of the founding members of the Rotary Club Salmania, and I have many relations. I have a couple of, I have an uncle, and 2 of my uncles are part of Rotary Club Salmania. My cousin, Mohammed Al-Khaja, was part of Salmania, but then he left and opened up his Sif Bahrain Club. And each club has their own group of people that you feel comfortable. End of the day, you should join a club that you feel comfortable with, because you're going to be working with them and you're going to be developing friendships with them.
Right.
And then, so I jumped to another topic. I'll go back to your other question, which is who am I? My business background. I took a bachelor's degree in business management and came back to Bahrain, 2 years working with the family business, and a year in marketing communications back in London for 1 year. So my background is in business and marketing.
Okay, excellent, great. Thank you for that intro. And so where does your passion come for charity work? Where does that come from to want to give back to the community?
Passion for charity work. Because I always thought that, I always thought that we should be generous. We've always been Bahrainis in general are always generous.
Of course.
The community, our business wouldn't be here without a community, without the Bahraini people, without the support of many families and businesses here. So my thinking is that since I've grown so much in Bahrain, I feel my heart is in Bahrain, and I want to give back to the community, to develop, to support my fellow man. Yeah.
Great. That's a really great reason to want to give back. I think a lot of us in Bahrain, want to give back to the community. Bahrain has done so much for so many of us, from an entrepreneurship perspective, and just the Bahraini people have a passion for kindness, for giving back, for being believing in humanity. And I think a lot of us are trying to figure out what are the different ways we can give back. So I speak to some of my friends, and some of them are involved in animal welfare. Some of them are involved with, some orphanages. Some of them are involved with beach cleanups. But a lot of us, including myself, find ourselves trying to figure out, how do we get involved in charity work from day one? Do we contact guys like you? So what kind of advice would you give to the young people watching this, to the millennials and the Gen Z who are really looking to give back to the community?
That's a very good question. One way, of course, is they can always work with us, the Rotary Club. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for ideas. Maybe somebody has an idea, they can come to us and we can work together on a project, or they can direct us into a certain way. There are many charities, for instance, the Bahrain Disabled Association for the Friends in Adliya. A simple thing is that any plastic bottles you have, instead of going, again, you shouldn't throw away plastic bottles in the garbage or in the street. You can put it into this big container. They have this big plastic container there in the Disabled Society in Adliya, where it will be taken to a recycling facility, and the recycling facility will actually buy it from them, and they receive an income by selling these plastic bottles. And that's a smaller way you can participate. And with this money that they sell, they receive from selling the plastic bottles, goes into wheelchairs. There's many people from the disabled community that have very specific disabilities, which is very difficult to get them specialized chairs. There's somebody was explaining to me, the director of the society was saying that the specialized chairs that is required for some disabilities is just not available, and they're very expensive to bring them from Germany, from Europe. So this money that they receive from selling the plastic bottles actually support the program for getting wheelchairs. It's not just any wheelchair, there's specialized wheelchairs for very specific disabilities.
Okay, guys, so you've heard it here. If you're looking at getting more charitable, get in touch with Faisal Juma or his team at the Rotary Club in Salmaniya. Faisal, thank you so much for enlightening us with all this information. I wanted to know a little bit more about what Helping Hands is. I know that you have this initiative at the Rotary Club called Helping Hands. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, thank you for asking that question. Helping Hands, well, okay, every year we come up with a theme that or a cause that the club will follow. I mean, the year before it was Home of Hope, the idea that we renovate dilapidated homes of economically challenged families. The year before that was Challenge Disabilities. The year before that was Stop Plastic Pollution, and before that was Fight Cancer. The point is that each year we choose a theme and we focus our resources, our energy into fighting that cause or supporting that cause, either way you look at it. This year, I felt as the next president, it's up to it was one of my tasks to choose the theme of the year. And the theme I chose was Helping Hands, because this pandemic, that's the one that we're going through, which it seems to be getting any manageable now, but devastated a lot of lives last year in terms of not just health-wise, and a lot of people, God bless their souls, were gone. Families were affected indirectly by losing their jobs, by maybe many, again, going back to the disabilities, they were forgotten. So because people focused and worried about the pandemic and how to protect ourselves and how to this, all the other things were forgotten. There are many rare diseases that are not being looked after. Disabilities are not being looked after. So the idea of
I
helping.
actually saw that. It's interesting you say that, because I saw a study that said that the rates of diseases like cancer and other diseases like this have actually shot up in the last 1 or 2 years, because people aren't going to the hospital for these things.
Yes.
So a lot of your, like you rightly said, a lot of your rare diseases and things are largely being ignored because of the pandemic we're in.
Yes, yes, and people are of course scared to go to the hospitals. Some people can't afford treatment, and some facilities are being used for the pandemic. Again, rightly so. But all I'm saying is that these other things are being forgotten. And the concept or the idea behind Helping Hands is I want to help the people who are directly or indirectly affected by the pandemic. The idea of the reason I chose the color orange is that it's sort of like it represents a new beginning. I mean, the idea at the time is that we'll slowly be coming out of this pandemic, and we have to start refreshing ourselves, going back to the core values of Rotary, which I mentioned: integrity, leadership, service, diversity, and leadership, and fellowship. I think I repeated one of them. So.
Okay, am I back? Hello? Can you guys hear me?
Loading.
Let's say loading.
I can hear you, yeah. Hello, yes, I hear you. I hear you.
Perfect.
I hear you loud and clear. If you can hear me, I'll go on.
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll just go on. Because I think you can see me. Anyway.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. We can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry, I'll go on then. So the logo yes. Okay, I'll go on. The logo I chose was, the idea is that hands helping each other. We're helping people, and we're not here to just give them money or whatever. We're here to work with them, to help, to support them, to bring them up in the community. And that's the concept of Helping Hands, is that we're going to be like more focused on different things and sort of help them come out of the the deep end that's happened to them, that they've gone into.
Brilliant. Thanks, Faisal, for telling us a little bit about Helping Hands. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, I hear you. Yes, I'm here.
Perfect. A question that I have, that I think a lot of people have this misconception around the Rotary Club, that basically the Rotary Club helps you become more confident, it gives you speaking skills, A lot of people think it's a speaking place, a place where you go and you learn how to project your voice or learn how to be confident. Would you say that's a misconception, or would you say that is still a huge part of what Rotary Club does?
It is a small part of the club.
Okay.
Our main focus is to help the community. We're here to serve and to help and to support the community in many ways. And I can say that speaking is sort of, because we have to give presentations and speeches to our members and talk to our members, I think that's sort of a side effect of what we do here. It helps. Yani that's one of the things, but the main focus is to serve the community.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you. Now what we're going to do is that we're going to play a round of rapid fire. So I'll ask you 5 or 6 really quick questions.
Sure.
It's a little bit of a fun round so that people get to know the things that you really like. So we'll start now. Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. iPhone or Samsung?
iPhone.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Logic or creativity?
Logic.
Okay. Love or money?
Love.
Nice. The final one, I think this one applies to you. Being nice or being fair?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. Being nice.
Nice.
It's nice to be nice. It's nice to be nice.
That was nice to be nice.
Yes.
Faisal, thank you so much for coming on Local X Local this week. It was a real pleasure having you join us. Thank you all for joining and tuning in. Tune in next week on our Local X Local to watch our next guest. And for all of you that want to follow the Rotary Club, follow them on Rotary Club Salmania. Faisal Juma, thank you so much for your time. And thank you for all that you do for your community. We'll speak again, inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye-bye.